happy morning for many people over there. She's in San Francisco, so we can't only wish happy evening right now. So I think this video, this time the live is being watched by people across the world. I've got fabulous encouragement, excitement, and there are people in different parts of the world. So once again, happy evening, happy afternoon, and happy morning. KK. So Kirtana, welcome on board. Very, very happy and excited to have.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nidhi Bajaj. It is a great, great pleasure to be having the chance to inspire a global village of people. We're all one, no matter where we live. And I am so thankful to you for giving me this opportunity. Quick introduction of myself. We can go further into this through the interview. I'm Kirtana Kumar. I go by KK. I am a engineering leader and an engineering manager at Microsoft and GitHub. In my personal life, I am a dancer, a yoga practitioner, and I love to cook and solve puzzles. That's what I do in my free time. Beyond that, I care about people. So I volunteer in multiple places, both in a homeless shelter and teaching students and educating people. And so that's a little bit about me. I am so excited to hear more from you and how we can connect the pieces of my life into an inspirational story for people to take. My hope is that, in some way, everything I do can impact and inspire people to be better and to be happy and always succeed in their life in whatever way they want.
Beautiful, Kirtana. That's wonderful. Let me again, reiterate the topic. It is climbing the professional ladder with spiritual alignment. This is something very, very close to my heart, Kirtana, because and all to all the viewers. When I just started physio, this was about 14 years back. Some person called me, a doctor, and told me that, Dr. Nidhi, I will start referring people to you if you can start giving me a cut. And that time I had very few patients coming in. I had just started working. So, at not for a second that temptation came in, I said, doctor, I respect you, but refer patients to me if you believe in me, not because I'm going to give you a cut. And, when you maintain those ethics, it's at that time, we may not immediately get the result, but today I can say I don't have to. I mean, the number of good humans and patients that have come into my life, I don't even need to probably market it further. And there are so many lovely people whose lives I can touch. So that is the role that spiritual alignment plays in climbing the professional ladder. Let's not take shortcuts to reach where we want to. So, Kirtana, my first question to you, very close to my heart also is tell me something. I know both your parents. What are the three most beautiful values that your parents have gifted you in childhood?
This is so close to this question is so important to me. My parents, everything that has happened in my life, everything has a value attached behind it, right? It's hard to pick three, but I will try to. Everything, and no matter what I do, no matter anything, and everything through childhood too was, this is the value, this is why we do it, and we're going to do it that way. But let's start with, individualism is I categorize as the giant
Like the
first value, right? But individualism, what does that mean, right? It's essentially they wanted me to be part of the family, even as a 2-year-old, 3-year-old. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I'm sitting in the table, and my father and mother are having a discussion, and they asked me for a second, Kirtana, what do you think about this? 2 or 3, I don't know, whenever I started talking, right? They were like, what do you think about this? And I guess I would have sat up and said something maybe useful, maybe not, but they started young. No matter what decision was at home, be it small, we're going to go, we're going to eat dinner, what do we want to eat, right? Like what food we're going to eat, or we're going on a big vacation, where do you want to go, why do you want to do this? And so they always ensured that decision making was inbuilt on me. That's one. And two, that as a team, we are a team as a family. As a team, we all work together and it is a unified effort. I think even today, being in the career ladder, being in an corporate environment, working with so many people, that decision making skill and that team building, team environment helps me be who I am. So the first one I said was individualism. Second one is no wasting, right? No wasting anything. That means have value for everything in your life, right? So food, money, whatever you buy, right? Love. Don't waste anything. Don't waste the time. Everything is so important. All the resources in your life are so important, and value and respect everything. And my dad loves this story because I think this is how I am today too. But always when we go to a wedding, right? They give us like either a banana leaf or a plate. But like in South India, we have banana leaf. Banana and we eat that, and they'll put a lot of food and a lot of things on the plate, and we'll ensure that entire plate is empty when we get up. So we'll ensure that anything given to us, nothing, not even that like pickle will be wasted, right? Like not even that pickle on the side, because or you ask, if you don't want it, don't get it. So know what you want and ensure that you value everything you get, because anything you get and anything you have is a gift from God, right? And that's the second value. The third one, and I think this is something is so deep and is so rooted to spirituality, and is that have faith. Have faith that is a bigger power guiding us through life, and taking us along. And it's unquestionable faith that no matter what you do and no matter what you get, be it ups and downs in life, there will always be a bigger reason for something to happen.
That's amazing. That gives me goosebumps actually. Childhood memory, or was it this banana leaf memory, or any other very cute childhood memory that you would like to spontaneously share with us?
I love this. I mean, there's several fun things. But as a family, we would um, play games and puzzles in the night or in the day. I mean, I've always, whenever like I would sit and play, I would rather play with the puzzle rather than a Barbie doll or a little like teddy bear. So like I would find, starting from the little piece of like a jigsaw puzzle or a paper puzzle or a game, a board game, right? Or this game that me and my mom and dad used to play. It's called Mathematics Genius. So it's called Little Genius, I think, where you put little tiles and there's a number and you need to find an added subtraction on that tile. They always activating that prefrontal cortex, right? Always activating that. And it was just like all these memories. It was fun. It was exciting. And today, like, I don't even feel like I'm alone because I'm constantly solving puzzles, solving problems. What is the next puzzle I can do? Be it at work, be it in my like real life. Everything is a challenge and a puzzle. And it invigorates me to do that, right? And so I think like we had fun always. We're sitting and we're just doing like we're waiting in line for a prayer or something. My dad will have a little book and he'll write math equations or
Oh
statistics
my
even when
God.
I was young, and he would give it to me, and I would like excitedly do it. But it's that you're constantly working your brain and thinking and solving an answer and solving a thing. And everything in life to me is a puzzle. Everything, life itself is a big
So
puzzle that we're
beautiful.
solving.
So you see it as a
Uh,
game, rather than even if
right.
things come as a challenge. For you, it's become like a puzzle, a game, and you do it with like a childlike enthusiasm.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. So very, very, I'm sure there must be millions of memories, okay, which we could, cover up later. I'm sure Kumar will, if I call him up, he'll tell me some 100 memories. I would like to just emphasize right now that Kirtana has been in the lockdown for, it's been 99 to 100 days. Kirtana, how?
101 day today. 101
Yeah,
days.
one more day. Okay. And still, she's never lost her spirit. She's miles away from her parents. And I mean, anybody who knows them, I think everybody knows the close bond they share. And yet, she's maintained a happy spirit, also extremely successful at her work. And in fact, she used in lockdown to open up so many opportunities. So she has shared with me that she's been cooking in the lockdown. Can you share about the Stanford thing that happened for you during the lockdown?
Sure. I mean, this is an interesting time. There's ups and downs for everybody. There's a story that everybody will share after this lockdown. Every one of us will have a short story to share, whatever it is, right?
A
We
book will
all
be written actually about
book.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody will have a story share. I didn't. I locked down before the world. San Francisco actually was one of the first places in the world, apart from China and in East Asia, right? We were the first in the States to lock down even before India did, and all of that stuff. I was taken in spirit, right? Like I was like, this is a time to do something interesting
Yeah,
and
of
use the
course.
time differently. So I focus on everything in my life, right? Health. Like I work out every day, 2 or 3 times, one with myself, one with my parents. I'm their like personal coach here on the iPad. I have them, and I'm like, do this, and you can do this. So health is really important, right? And of course, with the cooking, I mean, I always cooked, always enjoyed cooking, but with a busy life, you end up eating out a little bit and cooking a little bit, and going through things. But using that lockdown opportunity to really find a plethora of recipes to cook that I enjoy, mixing Indian and non-Indian dishes. It's just fun, right? And healthy living, right? That's important. But more than health and all of this stuff in work and in my professional life, I'm able to spend time and energy to improve myself.
Beautiful.
I'll actually call back to something before I talk a little bit about Stanford, right? My aunts and uncles that I grew up with, my grandparents, they are biggest inspirations. They have succeeded in whatever they've done in their life, and they've gone so many ways. And what they've taught me is that life doesn't stop. I never see them stop. Even now, even my grandmom at 80 plus, she doesn't stop. She is holding on and seeing how she can do something else for somebody, right? Like, what can you do? How can you improve? How can even, what can I do? What can I learn? What do I do? She like knows how to Skype, and they're always thinking, how can you make yourself better for somebody else, for the bigger cause? And I said I've had ups and downs in my life, and I've always wanted to be in a business program and tried 3 years, didn't end up happening, but somehow magically I ended up getting into an executive business program along with CEOs, startup owners, CTOs, high-level managers, people who have experience of like 15 plus years in their own field, in their own industry across the world, to come in together, a cohort of 250 of 300 of us, and we're having this amazing 1 year virtual, and it always was virtual, not because of this lovely time that we're going through, but it was always meant to be virtual. It started right when lockdown started on March 11th. It started this year and goes on till next year, March 11th. And it's called Stanford Lead, and it is helping me. It's specifically on leadership in executive business program, right? It's part of the Stanford Graduate School of Business, and it's underlying is that what can you do and how can you lead better, both as an empathetic leader, as a great communicator. How do you find a reason and a consequence that you can have in your life? They cover topics from all around, all how do you understand finance, how do you critically think about any problem, right? And so yes, I can learn all this stuff. I think both enhancing the value system from my childhood and the people that have inspired me, all my role models, adding on to the business acumen that an education system teaches. And I'm able to, put that instantly at work today. And, no matter what I wanted to do in my life, somehow this moment, going through that like education system for business and actually applying it on a daily at work, because we're going through challenges, actually going through the biggest crisis that we are in my lifetime, as a world. And handling crisis is such an important aspect. And Stanford spontaneously started this other class. They invited us to deal with crisis. How do you as leaders deal with crisis? And learning all this, right, and being part of that community has opened up and constantly made me think, why do I live life, and how can I make a bigger change, and how do I lead with a lot more empathy and a lot more care for people?
That's so beautiful, Keertana. I get goosebumps sometimes when you talk because it's so from the heart. In fact, she shared with me yesterday that she started giving because of the lockdown. She respected that people have so much more work right now. I mean, they need to work at home, right? We are everything, no, right now, like the driver, the helper. So she's actually started giving a Friday off to the employees, so they get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and in return, their productivity has scaled up like crazy. So Monday to Thursday, they have become super productive, right, Kirtana?
Yeah, we called it recharge Fridays. Not like right. And so the idea is that use that day. I give 20% of the work that you give us, 20% of your time back. So only 80% you're expected to be at work. No extra time inside Monday to Thursday, right? But recharge yourself. Come back. Go spend time with your family. That's recharge. Rest. Go learn something. Or also sometimes for us, grocery shopping is a big deal, right? Going to the grocery is a whole attire to change, to wear all the masks, be safe. But you can use that time to recharge yourself anytime. And I think no matter what, we can all find those recharge moments in our week, in our through the day, to essentially life keeps going on, but recharging ourselves and like essentially letting us know of the time before and the time after, even if this is the moment is a struggle.
Beautiful, Kirtana. That's wonderful. So I just love the fact that she cares so much about her teammates. She's given like a full Friday off, calling it as the recharge Friday. So I asked her that, are they working on Saturday, Sunday? She said, no. I said, oh, okay, they are lucky. But that's amazing, Kirtana. I think jokes apart, when we care for people, I think they give infinite back to us. So that is so beautiful. Kirtana, I would like to ask you, you joined Microsoft at a young age and you became a manager very early. So I'm sure people must be double your age, 10 years, at least 10 years elder to you, okay? And men, women, were you intimidated in the beginning and how did you overcome these challenges?
Um, Great question. I think I think about all the things that I do, but really it comes to the moment of start, right? My first ever time and experience with Microsoft was a day-long interview where I flew in from college into their headquarters, and I actually had trouble even getting there. The flights got canceled the night before. I flew in half an hour before my
Oh,
interview started. Everyone has a story, but with that sense, but I knew that all the struggle, I made it on time for every interview, not even late for one, not even they have to reschedule any. Somehow I spent 6 hours solving and talking to different people on from different teams, different backgrounds. And those 6 hours told me, wow, this is a place I want to work, this is a place I want to be, because I was engaged, I had fun solving the problems that they were giving me. It was just like back and forth communication. I really enjoyed working with the people, and I still do enjoy working with people in the company. And more importantly, going back to values, right? The value of Microsoft of making a change in the world and empowering the world through technology really resonated with me. And I still like the mission and the vision and the values of Microsoft are so important in driving me further in my career. And yes, right, 3 years into being a software engineer, I ended up being magically promoted into a manager and started managing a team that was had 20 plus more experience than me, most of them. A lot of them double my age. Some people new, some people much more experienced than me. But all that aside, and most of my peers, that all the other managers had, again, 10 plus years over me, either as a manager or as a even in the industry. But all that aside, I took it as a challenge. I took it as this thing. And I'm sure if you've been in a situation at work, or somebody has been in a situation in school, oh, I see somebody else doing so well, I see somebody else doing, you sense of a sense of doubt sometimes arises, and it does. I don't want to say no, it never arises. I definitely had, we call it imposter syndrome, or the idea that we might not be in the right place at the right time. But I go back to that two things. One, that interview, feeling invigorated by and why did I want to be here? So it took it up as a challenge, the importance to where I was, to the value system, right? I believed in the values. What we're doing is the right thing. We're doing so much for the world. And that was important to me. So setting aside my personal fears and challenges, I was like, no, I'm solving this puzzle. This is another piece in a chess move, right? It's not a move in a chess game. You just need to do it the way you want to, click it. And I really enjoy every moment having that decision making that I've learned through childhood and converting it into being helpful to people in my team. Yes, there are challenges. There are, being in a mouse world. All that aside, I've also inspired the women in my org. I started a women's group in my org and brought people together, had a community for all of us to talk, share, inspire, and lift each other up to be better engineers, better program managers, better designers, whatever we were doing, trying to lift the entire group up along with us. And that was very
That's
important to me.
brilliant. That is absolutely fabulous. What you said is number one, the why. You knew the why you have joined this. I think that makes a huge difference. And even when challenges come, the answer always comes. Like for me, I'm into healing. I know the why. Right from childhood, I used to just press my dad's feet and he used to go off to sleep. And since then, he used to tell me, Nidhi, my dream for you is that you will just touch someone and they will get better. So when the why is clear, automatically the how becomes much clearer. Second, I feel so all parents, whoever is watching and is a parent, make your child do a lot of puzzles so that when they grow up also they will look at things as puzzles and they will never be bogged down. They will always have that enthusiasm. So that's wonderful. And I think what you had shared with me, caring for the people, actually empowering them. So even if they are double your age, even if they have double the experience, the values and the spiritual alignment that you hold just carries you through, right?
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
definitely.
So yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Now coming to our like very so the whole concept. So we spoke a lot about the childhood memories, the values. I think the most beautiful part, I would say, the sacred part of this interview is what is spirituality to you, Kirtana? What is meditation to you?
Yeah, spirituality is special. And I've gone through my own spiritual journey, and I'm continuing to drive in my own spiritual journey. It is an individual thing, but in the end of the day, it is spirituality equals for me my faith that there is something bigger and there is a power beyond all of us. That is spirituality to me. How do I practice? How do I deal with it? What is spirituality to me? Everything can be spiritual, right? Like cooking sometimes is a spiritual experience.
Beautiful.
Being in a yoga pose can be spiritual experience. Working and helping and caring for others can be a spiritual experience. But I also take moments of silence and moments in meditation to really root myself into that inner silence, the inner voice, maybe sometime listening to the inner voice, sometimes even hearing nothing. And those are the most beautiful
Wow.
moments
I
to
got
live for,
goosebumps
right?
right now. So yeah,
Right? Like just
beautiful.
just
Yes.
closing your eyes and feeling that power that is beyond all of us, that's carrying us. And I always say, wow, I feel like I am carried no matter what. Like I don't feel like I'm walking on the floor by myself, or I feel like I'm carried like a little child, no matter how old I am, no matter how weird. I feel like I'm carried by as like a little child.
Yes.
And no
Yes.
matter what comes, there's like a spiritual protection around me that's just keeping me safe. And yes, it sounds like, I've heard so many of my friends say, this is going wrong. Why can there be God? What is that? I said, no. Like you'll see why you're having that experience. Maybe 1 week later, maybe 2 days later, maybe half an hour later, or maybe 30 years later, you'll see why that experience was so important to you, and realizing that. And it's not specifically me. I think I've been grown up in that environment, both by my parents, my uncles, aunts, my grandparents, everybody around me, just that spiritual rootedness that no matter what happens, you put your effort. So your effort, right? And then that his energy, right? Your effort, his energy, and that the faith that in that energy that you have all together can be such an amazing, powerful combination
That's beautiful,
for
Kirtana. I would like
abundance.
to share with the audience here that we are from the spiritual path, infinitism. The very word infinitism is believing in that infinite spirit of the human potential. So we have seen miracles with that. And I would say that our spiritual mentor always says that the power of our doing comes from the power of our non doing. And we are human beings and not human doing. And yet we kill ourselves with one after the other. I have to get up, do this. But if we can give that little pause, as Sunil always says, pause and play. Sunil Kumar Soni has a company called Pause and Play. And he always says it so beautifully that if we can take that pause, automatically the play will be so much better. So I think
Yeah.
that's wonderful, Kirtana. So
Yeah, I
silence
actually want to
is
add, right, like, that pause and play that you just said, right? I want to add, I use meditation in so many ways. I use meditation is the wrong word, but I meditate for so many reasons, right? If I'm happy, ecstatic, I take that moment of silence to feel gratitude for that
wow.
situation. How can I grow it? If I'm sad, or if I'm, like in this lockdown, there's ups and downs. There are times when, I don't read the news, but I'm in calls with people who all read the news, and I'm
Yes.
always hearing like a tidbit or something. Somebody would be like, oh, India is, going through, for a moment I'm shaken, like, oh, what how do I can't leave this country to even, be there with my parents right now,
Yeah.
if need be, right? What do I do in that situation? But even at that moment, closing my eyes and saying, I don't mind, even without me being there, I know there is a God there taking care of them. There is that power that's protecting everybody around them. So just believing in that faith that no matter what happens, that's the right. So I take meditation and I use that moment to pause, during happy times, sad times, even nothing, right? Like I feel empty. Great time to meditate. Oh, I have a bunch of to do. I'm not sure what to do. There's so many things for me to do. Take a moment. It's okay, that 5 to 10 or 11 minutes just to close and listen to that silence inside. I've actually used it, between meetings. I go through, like, I'm having a really hard conversation about what to do next, how to reprioritize work, what do we cut because of this current situation. We're talking about all of that. And then the next minute, I have to, I have 5 minutes gap before I jump into another meeting with somebody who's reporting to me. And I need to show energy and inspire and motivate them to be, better at their work, or motivate them, tell them, give them positive feedback, negative feedback for them to improve in their career. And through all of that, I need to jump from one meeting to another. Even in that moment, I take that silence. I try to find that inner silence for clarity and clearness in all of this stuff. So, spiritual rootedness doesn't need to help you only like be close to God or anything. It can help. It just helps in every part of my life.
Amazing. So it's actually, so I think every single day you meditate, right?
Oh, yes, yes,
So that's
definitely. At least
wonderful.
20, 30 minutes.
So beautiful. In fact, people, I think this deserves a beautiful clap. And I ask you, what according to you is a holistic life? Like so often Mahatri, our spiritual mentor says that holistic life is what we believe in, holistic abundance is what we should live by. What according to you is a holistic life?
I started saying it earlier a little bit, but health, wealth, love, bliss, and spiritual. Um, and I can't be amazingly best in wealth or health and miss out on the love and happiness in life. Or I can only focus on just love and what it does and miss out on my health in life, right? Like it is important. They're all a part, and the same way can miss out on the spiritual elements in life. And so to be a rounded and a better individual, I focus on health, wealth, love, bliss, and spiritual every day. Try to give time and energy to it every day in my own growth, in my own progress towards all five of those categories.
Wonderful. So I think you've been doing yoga. I have seen a fun
Yes.
workout of you and your parents where you made them do some, I don't know, 100 push-ups or what, I don't know. Because Kumar finally was not even on the floor, he was doing it on the wall. So yeah, I think even Purni was quite strong. She went on. I saw that
Yeah.
fun video. So I think
Yeah.
every day you are doing yoga, you are definitely taking care of your fitness, wealth, love, bliss, so, and spirituality. So I think this is so beautiful that every day make sure that all the five dimensions are covered in some way or the other, right?
Yeah,
Basically.
and you mentioned, my mom was on the forward. I think we're all in our own paths. Like we are all in our own level of,
Yes,
what we can do. Yes, one person can do something better. Another person can do,
exactly.
and
Yes,
just an example, right? Like there might be like my mom can like stand in a core position for 2 minutes if needed. But when it comes to like doing like a sit up, she has like her back is not as flexible as my father, and so
Correct.
everybody is in their own little like journey
Each one
towards
is
their
in
own
their
body,
own level,
own journey,
basically, which
right?
is
And it's
nothing
okay.
compared.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a journey. We're all in
Yes,
some
100%.
journey, and
Yes,
right.
definitely. Each one of us, let's begin where we can. So, in fact, when we sit with our eyes closed, thoughts will come. As Madhya says, we are just becoming aware of our thoughts, which is so beautiful. Otherwise, you use the word imposter syndrome. So many people feel they are an imposter in life. They don't know where they are coming, are they going? Now, the last which I would like to end with, so people who know about infinitism, there is we all, most of us go for something called as HDB, which is a spiritual retreat where we are in the womb of the silence. There is no talking, we are not allowed to use the mirror, nothing. It's totally about the deepest inner journey. So it's called HDB, which is higher, deeper, and beyond. So Kirtana has written a beautiful, beautiful poem after her HDB experience, which it's actually 11 stanzas, but of course we may not have the time for the entire poem. So I've requested her to read one paragraph, which itself is so touching. So I would request all of you right now to just probably close your eyes or be in that state of pause and listen to this life transforming stanza.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a very special poem for me. I just wrote it in the moments of silence, and in the end of the day, it's about the bigger energy and the larger power. And I'll take two stanzas from the 11th stanza poem and read it out. What an opportunity to love the lover! One must experience the energy, the power, swaying like a leaf in complete trance. To experience my Mahatria is a chance. I will be peacefully successful and in absolute bliss. My Mahatria's love is hard to miss. For generations to come, will only experience Ratriya. For me, right now, I have my Mahatria.
Wow. It's so beautiful. So many things that you've spoken have actually given me goosebumps because it's so from the heart. And this shows the deeper the root, the higher the wing. So beautiful, Puri, Kumar, and everybody who has played a role. And of course, ever gratitude to our beloved Mahathir that such deep roots have been given. They have been nourished. That today you can take on such big responsibilities, roles. It's wonderful. So thank you so much, everybody. Please let's shower a lot of love on Kirtana. Your comments are very valuable. Whatever you have felt about this interview, please do share anything that you all have learned or something about your personal life, your childhood memory that you would like to save. So thank you so much. This is Dr.
Yeah,
Nidhi.
and
Yes.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, most importantly, for inviting me. And thank you for the flow of the interview. This is great. More and finally, if you feel like you want to reach out to me and you don't know me, that's okay. Feel free to find me. And I'm sure I've tagged on this on Facebook. Find me. I'm happy to help with whatever. In the end of the day, my goal is to make an impact on people's life, bringing
Beautiful.
people together, and
Beautiful.
living in this beautiful global village that we all live in. We can all inspire one another in so many ways. So let me have the chance to inspire you, and you can have a chance to inspire me. I'm really, really grateful for that.
Thank you so much, Kirtana. So your last takeaway, what is that one line takeaway for the audience for you
I
from
think
this?
I think that there is a bigger plan, and there is faith in that there is a bigger plan. Um, uh, you know, we are in the pause between two happy moments sometimes, and that is okay. And we are experience a happy moment at sometimes, and that is okay. But in the end of the day, there's always a bigger plan for us, and you know, rooting ourselves in faith can take us anywhere we want in our lives. That is my
That's
last takeaway.
beautiful. Beautiful. Stay tuned. This is Dr. Nidhi. We will come up with a lot more inspiring series. Take care,
Thank you so
Kirtana.
much.
Wishing you a
Thank you.
wonderful day ahead. For you, it's the day. So
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you.